looking to defend the title. Many Hurricanes fans have arrived in the city, and I think it's time we should go to Tony Johnson, who's sidelined tonight. Tony, this is quite bizarre.
Well, surreal, best way to describe the atmosphere here in Nisbo. It looked like it was going to be a beautiful evening for rugby. At about 6 o'clock, the sky was clear, the temperature was plummeting though, and then at around 20 past 6, this great blanket of fog blew in from the coast. It's not the worst that it has been at this point in time. At one stage, it was impossible to see from one side of the ground to the other, or from one end of the ground to the other. And I'm sure that there are some people sitting up high in the stands who probably still can't see the ground. It has lifted a little. In fact, at the moment, it's probably the clearest that it's been in about an hour, but it is still going to be very difficult for the players. The indications are that it is not going to get much better than this. That's the word that we're getting from the officials. And so certain things like ball coming out of the night sky, out of the mist, that white ball coming out of the fog, is going to be difficult for the players to see.
Well, Colin Cooper has gone with the same forward pack that faced the Waratahs last week. And again, a key man will be Jason Eaton. The big man from Taranaki has made giant strides this season, and his head-to-head clash with Chris Jack will be a highlight. A lot of focus on the loose trio of Soialo, Collins and Masawi. They hunt as a unit and have had outstanding seasons. And in a final such as this, a team needs stability in key positions, and so once again David Holwell gets to wear the number 10 jersey. It's almost certainly his last match at this level. Holwell will once again be asked to direct his side around the park and also to kick the goals. So the Hurricanes are out there. They're going to play from right to left as we see it. And now the Crusaders, another outstanding season from them. They finished as the top qualifiers, thus the right to host this final. Crusaders have always been about unity and teamwork. No one personifies it better than Reuben Thorne. The former All Black skipper is the only player to be involved in 8 finals and has formed the season once again outstanding. Tonight he goes back to blindside. This allows Ross Filippo to come into lock. And a stable look to this Crusaders back line. A lot of pressure though will go on Kevin Senio at halfback. At times this season he's played second fiddle to Andrew Ellis, but the youngster out, Senio being asked to go it alone with no backup in the reserves. So difficult conditions for everybody. Jonathan KAPLAN of South Africa, the referee tonight, and we'll do our best to bring you the coverage. And I think you can see the problems that everybody is going to have here at Jade Stadium. It really is quite bizarre. Isaiah Toiava is going to make the kickoff. Jonathan KAPLAN probably can barely see the Crusaders to ask them if they're ready. And he blows the whistle, and the final is underway. The kickoff goes the other way, and it's taken down by the Crusaders just outside the 22. Senio reaching in, and the clearing kick is made. It's not going to find touch. Fielded there by David Holwell, and now it's with Fa'atau. He's put it high in the air, and I don't know whether the players can see it. Yes, they obviously can, as it's taken down just on the Crusader side of halfway. And Major makes the kick, and drifting down towards the touchline. Good kick too. Toiava though has kicked it in play, and he spiraled his kick away downfield. This isn't out either, and it's taken by Scott Hamilton, the kick and chase. And Periwepu called for the mark, and the mark is given.
Right there.
Chance to welcome our international audience. A lot of expat Kiwis around watching this. I guess supporters of the Crusaders and the Hurricanes, wherever you are around the world, the UK, Super Sport for Mnet in South Africa, Fox Sport in Australia, throughout Asia. I know there's a lot of expats in Bangkok watching this, either at Wall Street, Corleones, or the Green Parrot. Of course, Sky Sport here in New Zealand, Pacific Islands, Chatham Islands, you name it. Huge international audience in these surreal conditions here at Jade Stadium with this heavy fog having blanketed the ground. And here are the Crusaders. Now they're about 12 metres in Hurricanes territory. And down they go towards the 22. And the whistle goes from Jonathan KAPLAN. And
moving forward,
just to say good evening to Murray Mexted.
Oh, mesmerised by the fog, actually, but very solid start to the game. You know, both teams have used the up and under a couple of times, and I'd say they're trying out the fog to see whether their opponents can handle it. But the game I mean, it's another dimension added to this game, isn't it, really? And which team can adapt best to the conditions. So it puts further pressure on the two most successful sides in Super Rugby this season.
So the first scrum is packed, and the Hurricanes twisting it away. So a little bit untidy. Senio going back, Collins nailing him. Greg Somerville waiting towards the back of the maul. Now the Crusaders looking to just take a metre or two.
That's fine, counter up.
There it is, sitting on the ground for Senio. Dabbed through by Carter, but easily claimed by Toiava. And I guess, TJ, the high ball is a real weapon here tonight.
Yes, I was watching the players before the game, Nisbo, and there was a lot of practice both kicking and fielding high kicks. The players didn't seem to be coping too badly. Of course, it's going to be very difficult for the referee and the touch judges as well. In fact, I was talking to Jonathan KAPLAN before the game, suggested that maybe they might like to use miners' helmets with lamps on them. Might help them do their job.
Yeah. Well, they've got a pretty good view of this line out to be fed by Corey Flynn. And
Eaton got it.
I think it might have been, in fact, Tito. Just got in ahead of one of the Crusaders players. Now Wetu bangs it high. And losing the ball is Rico Gear. Now, I guess you could say on any normal night, he would have handled that pretty well.
Well, he's got good hands, Gear, but certainly playing to the conditions. Well,
that's looking down from the helicopter, looking down on Jade Stadium.
They should bring the helicopter down here to blow some of this fog away.
Yeah, well, there's only more fog behind it to fill the gap, Murray. In fact, it's just starting to come in again a little bit more thickly. There's a bit of a break going on here at the moment. Looks like Mimir Tialata receiving some attention for the Hurricanes. Back on his own 10-metre mark.
But other than the fog, it's perfect conditions for this final, so it's a real tragedy, but it just adds to the drama. In fact, it might be a bit of a marketing ploy for the Crusaders. I mean, when you think about a crusade, one would visualize a little bit of fog as the horsemen come out of the fog, and that's what we've seen here tonight.
Well, we've seen all sorts, haven't we? We had a Super 12 final in sleet in Canberra a few years ago. We've had a couple played in bright afternoon sunshine. I don't know what else we could have now that we've had some fog.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much had it all.
But even so, one fault only at the beginning of this game, despite the fog, and that's the Rico Gear drop catch.
So the scrum fed by Wetu. So they try to bring it back, and it's against the Crusaders.
Before the ball was in, running around. Back you go.
And those of the crowd who could see.
Running around, not running around, driving in on the side.
Well, David Holwell's going to have a shot at goal. He will be able to see the posts. That's the good news.
Well, it was cleverly turned by the Crusaders, and in fact they won that scrum battle, I would have thought. I'm not quite sure what KAPLAN referred to there.
Well, I think he's got them for an illegal wheel. Certainly the Hurricanes weren't too impressed, and would you believe it, there's already been words exchanged between Jay Collins and R. McCaw, just continuing on what happened in Wellington a few weeks ago.
So David Holwell, very kickable for him despite the fog. The distance is not an issue.
TJ, you'll see this better than us, so
yep.
Just give us a call.
Right down the barrel, Nisbo. He's about 6 in from the left wing touch. started it right, drawing it round nicely, and, well, it's dropped under the bar.
Well, certainly it was accurate, but he just didn't have the distance.
Oh, look at that.
Well, again, it's going to be difficult for the touch judges behind the goalpost, particularly the longer kicks. They're not going to see them until late in their flight.
This is Jerry Collins stopping the ball with his foot and then charging it up. Just on the Hurricane side of halfway, as Tialata, who's recovered quickly from that injury, takes it another couple of metres.
Wait there, wait there.
Hurricanes looking to drive this, and they do, up to the halfway line.
And away one.
Now Wepu clears it off to Collins. Taking it in was Tana Umaga in the number 12 jersey. And scrum goes Hurricanes' way.
So Jerry Collins being the distributor in that situation. So much talk about Collins, the multi-skills of Jerry Collins.
Could be a secret weapon tonight. Murray, you won't see his top 2 inches in the fog.
Miss pass again.
And
saw a very efficient miss pass at Cape Town, which led to a try.
On the angle.
So the Hurricanes lined across their own 10-metre line. You can see there with Shannon Paku right here in the foreground.
There's an injury break. You can't make out who it is for the Crusaders, but I can tell you that the Hurricanes are still a bit concerned about Tialata. Joe McDonnell is on the warm-up bike.
Well, it was one of the areas that I thought would cancel each other out was the front rows, but if Tialata went off the field, that would certainly give an advantage to the Crusaders. He's an integral part of that Wellington Hurricanes front row.
Crouch and hold. Engage. Wind up.
Wepu to feed. 7 minutes gone. Good scrum. Soialo tried to get it back, and it went forward eventually.
Well, points to the Crusaders. Big scrum. So much pressure. Soialo wasn't able to clear. Look at that.
Well, they're making a statement early on, aren't they, with their scrum. Normally it's something that they try and do as the game builds on, maybe pick a moment or two in the second half. Here's Tialata's down again, and it's that knee. It's causing him grief.
Well, of course, he's one of the players that was criticised, I guess, for the excess aggression against the Crusaders in the earlier game. So
Stand that side.
He could well be under pressure in the scrum, I'd imagine. Sort of works a bit like that.
Looks pretty relaxed, Joe McDonnell, former All Black, of course. And he may well be called into action quite early in this game. Looks like Tialata's keen to continue.
But how much of his mind is on his knee and how much is on the scrummager?
And hold. Engage. Ball out.
Right, Senio clears it off. Carter kicking. Ball dropped in behind. It's been snapped up by the Crusaders. Inside the 22 they go.
Leave it 7.
And it's there on the Crusaders side. Now Flynn. Right in centre field.
This is
Challenged
Filippo
by
now.
Filippo, yep. Now Vicinio. Good stuff here from the Crusaders. Collins had a hand on that, I think, for a moment, but it's been cleared away. Tialata tried to grab it. And it's been knocked on.
And I think Pere Wepu down and looking in some trouble for the Hurricanes.
Yes, he doesn't look in good shape at all.
Yeah, they've rolled him onto his side.
Let's have a look here as he goes in. It wasn't classic tackling style, and he ran into a knee.
No, well, he's got his head in exactly the wrong spot. To every young man watching this, the head always goes behind the body. You drive the shoulder into the player's legs, and your head is behind. He got his head in front and wore a knee. So he'd be stunned. He's a pretty tough character, though. Piri Weepu doesn't like to leave the field.
Brendan Hammy is the reserve halfback. The Hurricanes have that luxury. The Crusaders don't have a reserve halfback. And if anything should happen to Kevin Senio, Dan Carter will slip into halfback. Let's have another look at it. The run was made by Senio, and he banged his head on the knee of Senio. Well, he's up and he's away.
Not too early, please. Not too early. Wait for me. Yeah, it was a bit. Wait, just wait. Don't beat me. Crouch and hold.
So the best attacking situation so far in the game for the Crusaders. Tuiali'i for Senio, running strongly. 6 metres away, carried on by McCaw. Now it's with Somerville getting very close to the line here. And the whistle has gone. It's been lost forward by the Crusaders. And I see Weepu's gone down again. He doesn't look happy.
Well, the first real try-scoring opportunity for the Crusaders. Charging at the line on 3 occasions, just being held off. Have a look at this. It's a Charlie 2 from the scrum, and then bring it back again. Just wait behind the ball carrier. It's classic rugby, really. And the Hurricanes scrambling to defend.
If you've just tuned in 10 minutes late, yes, don't adjust your set. It's a thick fog at Jade Stadium, making life difficult for everybody. Quickly taken the free kick by Collins through the pass, probably shouldn't have. And it's been lost forward by the Hurricanes, and now the Crusaders can't control it. And I think initially the knock on by the Hurricanes.
So Jerry Collins took a chance, tapped and ran, called for the 10 metres, not 10 metres. KAPLAN didn't give it. Let's have a look. Is that 10? It's marginal, isn't it? About 8.5.
Yes, Collins looked immediately at KAPLAN and said, hang on, that's not 10.
Wait for my locks, my locks, my locks. Get down, please.
So Crusaders scrum on attack, plenty of blindside.
Crouch and hold.
As you can see, just
free kick to the Hurricanes. The Crusaders went early. Weepu gets it, smacks it off downfield.
Not out.
Nicely taken by McDonald. Leon McDonald also launches it high. Nobody can control the first bounce. And the Hurricanes might have it. It is with Collins. Hands it off to Soialo. And the Hurricanes in control of this, just out from their own 22. Weepu looking for his kicker. And it will be Holwell to drive it towards the touchline. And he gets it up towards halfway. Quickly thrown, but there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on.
Break up. Leave him, leave him. Settle.
McCaw and Nonu. And Piri Weepu down again.
So a bit of pushing and shoving. Weepu coming back. Line out to be thrown by Flynn, and that's Borking. Over the ball in. Yep.
Well, the Hurricanes line are having a bit of success here. One against the throw, and they've forced a turnover.
Weepu takes it. Soialo. Oh, he just about got through. Looked to slip the pass. Didn't throw it, though. And a penalty.
This will be another Holwell kick at goal. Another opportunity. Most of the game has been played inside the Hurricanes' half. They've only really been inside Crusaders territory twice, and their second kicking opportunity.
They might give it to Piri Weepu too. Just wonder about the distance for David Holwell.
Well, Periwipu was practicing long-range kicks before the game started, Nisbo. The only thing is that Periwipu's not exactly in 100% condition at the moment.
See, you think he might be seeing several sets of goalposts, Tony?
Well, lucky to see any tonight,
Yeah.
Murray. He's going to have a shot, 10-metre mark, he's placing it.
This is rather reminiscent of last week at Westpac Stadium.
Well, it's nice to have the options.
In fact, maybe the final should have been played at Westpac. Wouldn't have had the fog. I can hear a few Crusaders people sitting behind their television set having a crack.
Well, this one about 42, 43 on the angle for Periwipu, just to the left of the posts. He's got the distance all right. And it's over.
Oh, what a good kick. Periwipu kicks the first penalty of the final. 3 points to 0. He's not in the best of shape, but he's got 3 points.
He's not the sort of guy that's going to go off easy, though. You can see that.
So the kickoff made by Carter. Racing after it is, I think, Jason Eaton. Yes, it is. Very good run. He was determined to get that. He had to run a long way to get it.
Hold.
Wepu back now for Holwell, kicking to the far touchline, and goodness knows what's happened.
Where is
it's been taken by Hamilton on the far side. Nisbo, he's been wrapped up about 5 metres inside the half. Ball's gone loose, and eventually it's coming to the Crusaders.
Okay.
Richie McCaw takes it forward.
And now they're starting to break in midfield, the Crusaders. And here's a chance for Rico Gear out wide. Taken at a good tackle by Holwell. About 18 metres out from the line as the Crusaders endeavour to fight back. There it is for Senio.
This is Laulala moving it on. Carter now in midfield. Out to Major. Puts a kick in for the far side. And into touch it goes. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, Nisbo. I just don't know whether you're about to see that from where you are.
I haven't got a clue, Tony. You're dead right. I cannot see the other side of the field.
No, well, from our commentary position, which is on the 3rd level of this wonderful new stand, I can't see the touchline on the other side. I can see the goalpost about as clearly as you can see it on the picture, so pretty difficult scenario.
Running quickly, not 5. Free kick.
So it's a free kick to the Crusaders because the Hurricanes didn't throw it in 5 metres.
Wait for my call. Crouch and hold.
So fairly good attacking position, although we're battling to see.
Yeah.
How many metres from the try line is that, please, Tony?
Same thing, square on.
About 5 or 6, Murray.
Thank you. So we can see just where it is, so plenty of room left.
Wait for my call. No locks. Crouch and hold. Engage.
It's a Crusaders ball. Senio puts it in. And he gets wrapped up. It gets out of the tackle of Marsoy and then spills it in the tackle of Rodney Sorialo. So it's a knock on. It'll be a scrum. Hurricanes to feed.
So I don't think that was the conditions, Tony. That was just a straight pressure from Marsoy on the side of the scrum.
Still checking Periwipu there. You just saw in the background. Good anticipation by Marsoy. Senio was good enough to get out of the first tackle. Wepu feeds.
Another good scrum, Crusaders.
There it is on the Hurricane side as we use our end-on camera here to try and make life a little easier. Holden deep in the end goal, and he makes the clearance. And up goes the touch judge's flag. Somewhere there, looked like taken quickly by the Crusaders.
Yeah, the ball's gone into touch. Leon McDonald it was who made the break. Just heading over that side, Nisbo.
Tremendous, Tony.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good idea.
Like the last frontier.
So sometimes attacking and defensive patterns split the field in half. We're going to actually do this for a commentary. Tony on the far side, Nisbo on this side.
Crouch and hold. Engage. Bind up. Yeah. Careful the fade.
18 minutes gone
On his jersey, not
in the Super 14 final. Penalty goal by Piri Wepu. The
Crouch
difference
and
between
hold.
these two sides.
Engage. Bind up. Bind up.
And Wepu not under so much pressure this time. Gets his kick off. And that is outside the 22 by the looks of things.
Yeah, about 30 metres from the goal line.
You made it yet, Tony?
Yep. Not quite as quick as I used to be, Nisbu, as you know. So it's Flynn to throw to the line out. Chris Jack goes up and he's taken it down.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
He's looking to drive it up now, and they're nicely set up too. Hurricanes just splitting a little. Senio marshalling the troops almost to the 22.
Right, looks like the ball's on the ground.
Carter's got it now, moving it out to McDonald up into the line, putting the kick ahead. Ball's rebounded though.
Umaga tries to bring it under control, and there it is on the Hurricane side, and it was a knock-on, I think, by Umaga as he tried to recover that. And they've come across on our side, Tony.
It's Crusaders ball, I think.
Yeah.
So it was off Umaga's leg, and that's the knock-on right there we saw with his left arm. So nothing in this game, still huge competition going.
Crouch and hold. Engage.
So Kevin Senio to feed. Tuialii takes it off the back, running blindside here. It's taken. That's the 10-metre line in Hurricanes territory. Crusaders trying to work the blindside with Filippo.
Push back.
Now Senio gets it off to Carter. Another high testing kick. A little bit off the side of the boot though, not making as much forward progress as he would like. And a knock on, I think, by Jerry Collins.
Knock on, 6 gold. Just come off the pitch. You want to go there?
Handling here is understandable in these surreal conditions.
Well, Martin Nonu just looked like he was about to put the ball into the scrum because Piri Wepu's gone down again, receiving more attention. And he's just going to try and tough it out.
Well, of course, the All Black selectors have to name a big squad tomorrow morning, Tony. They'll be concerned, I guess, about injuries in this game.
I think the timing's good.
Halfway through the first spell.
Crouch and hold. Engage. Bind up.
It's been a big territorial advantage in this match for the Crusaders.
Yeah, Tuialii taking it off the back, wrapped up in the tackle by Collins, driven to the ground. They're about 5 inside the 10-metre mark, working the short side, and Chris Jack. Good defence from the Hurricanes to hold him up. And Nonu came through offside. In fact, it was Tana Umaga. Got himself on the Crusaders side of the ruck, tried to kick the ball back, and Jonathan KAPLAN has penalised him. And well, it's a kick of about 40 metres on the angle, and let's see, Dan Carter wants a crack. He's actually kicking into probably the densest fog of the night from this side, Nisbo. Away to your right, it's very thick over there, but he can see the posts, and he'll have a crack.
Well, yes, he can do better than me. And we understand Piri Wepu might be leaving the field.
Well, he's on the touchline on the side, Nisbo, again having a chat with the medical staff. Carter's lining this shot up. He's about 7 metres in. I don't know whether you know that or not, Nisbo. He's about 7 or 8 metres in from the left wing touch.
I believe everything you say, Tony.
Wepu's back on the field.
Well, we've got a pretty good view of this one, actually. We've got a camera behind him as he lines up this kick. And that looks just wide. It is just wide. So still 3 points to 0. Army's not on yet. I thought I saw Wepu wandering back into the action.
He's still there.
Into the mire.
Yeah.
Although goodness knows where.
He could actually
Like this is him now, just restarting with the drop kick.
Right, okay. You could put 17 or 18 players on the field here, no one would know. McDonald's high kick.
It was well taken by David Holwer, brilliantly taken.
Now the pass goes back and Toiava kicks. Off downfield goes his kick. And nicely claimed by Dan Carter. Just out from the 22. This will come down around about 10-metre line in Hurricanes territory. It's been snapped up. It was lost forward initially.
Lost forward by Gold and then back by Red.
Yes, Leon McDonald it was who came through and knocked it on for the Crusaders, but the ball was missed. The high kick was missed by Piriwipu under pressure from Carter. So it'll be the Crusaders to feed the scrum, and it's on the 10-metre mark, centre field.
That's on, please. Clear on. Wait for me, please. Crouch and hold. Good. Wide half, out there, 9.
So there's the scrum taken off the back by Tuialii. Running straight into Jerry Collins. Now it's with Filippo. Crusaders try to drive this. They're about 12 metres in Hurricanes territory and turned over. Kick made by Wepu. And goodness only knows where this has gone. It's been snapped up by the Hurricanes and it's in touch. Well, I think the Crusaders were confused. I don't think they quite knew where that had gone.
Well, I don't think they expected a turnover. So it was a turnover at the ruck and maul, but a counter-rucking from the Hurricanes.
Well,
So
communication is going to be so important. I think whoever was at fullback was just hoping that there was someone on the right wing to cover that, and there wasn't.
So here's Corey Flynn to throw. Good throw right down the back. He's got his hands on it and it's worked out all right. I think it's with Richie McCaw. That's the 22-metre line. CEO gets it away. Carter under a lot of pressure. This won't go into touch. Been knocked down by Paku and knocked on. Yes, and I think a little indication there from Shannon Paku that it's nigh on impossible
to see the ball.
It just emerges finally.
From this side of the field, you look across to the far side and you wonder how they could ever see the ball. It's actually just got worse. It's a real shame that this has happened for this final, such an anticipated match. It's a free kick here for the Crusaders. They've taken it quickly. Carter, well, they'll look to try and get the ball wide. McDonald's up into the line, gets it away to Hamilton. Fa'atau making the tackle and driving him over the touchline. So it'll be a line out, probably 35 metres from the Hurricanes goal line. And Andrew Hoare to throw.
It's interesting, Tony, a lot of the people up around us, we're 3 stories up. I think they're heading to watch this on television. They've got no hope of seeing it by sitting in their seats. So we're doing our best in very, very difficult conditions here. 15 minutes remaining first half as the line out throw is made.
Yeah, Hoare down the back to So'oialo, and it wasn't straight.
Take a step.
So it'll be a scrum about 30 metres from the goal line, 15 metres in from the left wing touch.
Well, Corey Flynn asked the question of the touch judge.
And hold.
There's no one else competing.
Lined up here, 1.
It's such a tough game.
Wait, the flag.
So we're using the camera across on the far side here. Now the ball's been lost by Laulala. And all of the players struggling. I think it's Tuialii with the ball now. Yes, it is. They've lost a fair bit of ground, though, the Crusaders. They're actually back in their own half. Another high kick is made. Goodness only knows where this is.
Well, Fa'atau's got it, and he's got it back to Toiava, just out from his own goalposts. Comes to the 22, kicks across to the far side. Ball disappearing into the fog, but I think it's not a bad kick. It's gone out about 7 metres short of halfway.
Yep, absolutely. I can see them now, Tony.
Tell you what, Tony, it's pretty handy having you on the far side of the field. Otherwise, we'd be speechless here. I can see Nisbo. That's about all. The only person I can see.
That's not necessarily a good thing.
No, leave him, leave him.
So Corey Flynn to throw. 13 minutes out from half-time. Taking an age to throw it in. Finally does. Using Richie McCaw as his jumper near the back.
Leave his legs, leave his legs.
Crusaders setting up this drive. Edging up towards the 10-metre line.
Great play, Jerry Collins.
Now Senio slips the pass. Another kick from Carter. And Tony take over.
Yeah, good chase. Hamilton's taking it on the full. McDonald, he's caught just short of the goal line. Hamilton's got it. He's just short. Chris Jack comes in, and it's there for City. Oh, gosh, coming in offside was Rodney So'oialo, but he actually was playing advantage for a knock-on by the Crusaders before So'oialo came in.
That's your mark.
But I think one of the difficult things that the players are having on defence when the ball goes wide is just matching up. You're not quite sure where the players are coming from.
Yeah. It's a pretty daunting feeling, isn't it, to have a player running at you and then all of a sudden realise he's got two players supporting him, one on each side, you never saw. I mean, just imagine yourself in the same position.
And Scrum's only 5 metres in from the touchline, so no real space. A big scrum from the Crusaders again. They've got it away to Fa'atau, though. He's been put into touch. Good tackle made by Richie McCaw.
Relax. You can't take it quickly. It's formed already.
So it's going to be a Crusaders throw to the line out. They're about 6 metres short of the line.
Well, Crusaders scrum certainly putting the acid on the Hurricanes. They've targeted it and it's working for them.
Well, they've been using McCaw at the back. And Wyatt Crockett behind him. He's a big man to lift him, and that's where they go.
Now we're looking end on here as the Crusaders attack.
Leave it here, 7. Hold there.
Just a couple of metres short of the line, having another go.
That was McCaw.
Right there.
Edging out towards centre field.
Chris Jack's peeled off away to the left. The referee's got the arm out for advantage.
Leave it 1. Leave it 7. 7, leave it.
Still under control here for the Crusaders.
That's Flynn. They're just a metre or so from the line now, and they come back for the penalty.
Well, I don't think there'll be too much doubt here that they'll kick for goal.
Well, you'd think so. They'd want to get points. They've been down here for a long time. In fact, 83% of the game's been played inside the Hurricanes territory.
There's another delay here for one of the Hurricanes players down. I cannot for the life of me see who it is, Nisbo, but Chris Marsoi.
Well, he's a hard man to hurt. He's tough as old nails, this boy.
Yes, he's in a fair bit of strife, isn't he? They've had their moments in this game. Firstly, it was Tialata, then it was Wepu, and now it's Marsoi. And he looks to be in real agony.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be continuing. In fact, he won't be, I think.
Yes, you saw Marsoi, yeah. Just before Tuialiki made that drive.
Graham Henry will be having nightmares watching this.
He will, if he could see it.
Yep. It's the knee. I'd say he's gone.
Just lightening up a little. I can actually see the players. I can see the other side of the field, Murray.
Oh, well done. I was just about to say Sky would probably be on the job enough to provide us with some of those James Bond type glasses that you can see at night time through the fog. Well, they're on their way up here, I believe. I'm looking forward to that. I might wear them out tonight afterwards.
Luke Andrews and Thomas Waldrum waiting to see which of them will get the call.
Marsoi's sitting up.
In the meantime, a penalty shot at goal here for Dan Carter. They're going to carry on with the play. is from pretty much out in front, and Carter's kick is over, and the Crusaders get their first points of the final, and it's 3-all.
Well, believe it or not, Chris Marceau, they've put a big strapping around his knee. He's getting back to his feet, and he's going to continue.
It's a battle for him.
Oh. You're right though, Nisbo, it has cleared up a little.
Yes, Taliava's going to kick off. Gets it up really high, just gets it to 10 metres. And it's been taken down by, perhaps it's Filippo with all those bandages.
Yeah, Tuialiti tidied up.
Was it? Okay.
And Carter to kick.
And that's a long, long kick. Way downfield it goes.
Piriwipu taking it just inside the 22, Nisbo, and he's put a long kick downfield himself. That one's gone into touch. Just over halfway.
8 minutes remaining in the first half. 3-all.
So the Crusaders inside their territory for the first time in a long while. But it is their throw.
82% territory for the Crusaders. As they win the line out, the ball's gone loose.
Ruled no knock.
Yeah, they knocked it down to Greg Somerville. He didn't lose it forward though, and so Carter kicking again.
You're right.
Fa'atau coming in all completely misjudged, and Hamilton's after it. He's knocked it down. A bit lucky for the Hurricanes, so it's been knocked down to Piriwipu, and they've been able to tidy it up just inside the 10-metre mark.
Andrew Hoare, I think, has grabbed it for the Hurricanes.
Wait there.
Coming slowly for Wepu. Now he's got it away. And a little kick through. Now it's been charged. And he's gone the way back. KAPLAN, I think, for the initial knock-on.
So I think once again, clear example of misjudgment because of the conditions, of course.
There's a kick through. There's been a lot of discussion about the kicking from midfield backs. And Aaron Major stood his ground there. Wasn't quite able to control it though.
And hold. Yeah, no. That's fine.
For the referee too.
Clear the boots.
Let's not forget him in all this.
All right, take the weight and straight in. I want that part in.
Well, the great thing about Jonathan KAPLAN is he's such a calm individual.
Crouch and hold.
Yeah, and he's close to where the ball is too, so you can see it probably. So interesting. Let's see how this Hurricane scrum holds up. More stable now.
Right, so the Hurricanes have it. Holwell turns it back on the inside. Ball lost. And presumably playing advantage here as the Hurricanes lost the ball. Here's McDonald busting into the clear. Chance for the Crusaders. As Collins comes across and makes the tackle on Leon McDonald. And now the Crusaders go again. Playing an advantage here for the Crusaders. One of the Hurricanes offside. Now Tuialiti.
From the boots.
Ball lost forward, but went from the boot. Still with the ball, the Crusaders. They're only about 10 metres short. Now it's out into to Reuben Thorne. The ball lost.
No advantage, one offside.
And it's against John Swolga, who was offside.
Ross Filippo was hugging the left-hand touch. He was waving frantically for someone to kick the ball over his side, but no one could see him waving.
Well, he's having a great season, this man. Once again, making breaks in this game. He's a man for the opportunity. He takes his opportunities, Leon McDonald. He's always looking. The first thought in his mind is attack, which makes him a pretty handy person for the All Black selectors.
Dan Carter looking to give the Crusaders their first lead of the night. missed that. So 2 penalty goals to Carter, 6-3.
And a massive 83% territory favouring the Crusaders.
Second penalty to Dan Carter sees the Crusaders 6, the Hurricanes 3.
Toyava kicks off.
Not 10, is it?
I don't know.
It sort of looked like it the way he kicked it, actually.
Choice, Captain. Scrum.
Yeah,
Scrum
they'll
it
come
is.
back for the scrum.
So a mistake from the kickoff gives the Crusaders a scrum on halfway.
Wait for my call. Bum in. Crouch and hold. Good. Bind up. Bind up.
Senio losing his footing.
Okay, number 8
running
offside,
smack
8
into
offside,
the
off you go.
Hurricanes loose forwards. Major comes in. Off it goes to Carter.
It's Toyava's taken it inside his 22. Nesbo put it downfield. It hasn't gone into touch though, and the Crusaders will bring it back.
Major hands it across to McDonald. A little kick looking for space. May have found a little. No, he hasn't. And the ball has gone out. The Hurricanes have it. Somebody's been bowled over on a big tackle.
Yeah, it was Lomi Fartal, but Jerry Collins has picked it up.
And away. Away.
Ball there for Wepu. Now it's with Holwell. And he drives it towards the touch. And it's in touch.
That one could have landed in the main street of New Brighton for all we know, Nesbo.
Yes, it was a great tackle.
Gold over.
Timed beautifully.
So the line-out throw for the Crusaders. Senio away for Carter. Laulala in midfield. There's the 10-metre line. Now the Crusaders move it again.
Roll away.
To Reuben Thorne it is. Senio. Another little kick through. And all controlled. Might be
No
Paul
hands,
Tito.
Ray.
It was Jason Eaton who got back
Was
for
it?
that.
Okay.
Yep. And Collins is going to play halfback.
2.
It's very slow.
And now Holwell always fired the pass away to Toyava under a bit of pressure. They tried to charge the kick down, but the Hurricanes have managed to scramble into touch. It's going to be a line out about 30 metres from the goal line though for the Crusaders. Last chance to attack probably in this half.
It's amazing. I'm just looking at the line-out stats, and it's 8-1 to the Crusaders. The Hurricanes are yet to throw the ball in this half.
Play on.
So here's Carter. He's going to kick across field.
He's overcooked it.
He's kicked it too far. Dead right.
Here we go. The last minute of the first half, and the Hurricanes have their first throw into the line-out. Extraordinary. And that's mainly because the game has been played inside Hurricane territory and they're scrambling it to touch. And of course, when you're on attack, you want to keep the ball in play, and that's what the Crusaders have been doing. So
Eaton drags it in, gets it at the second take, and the Hurricanes have possession as the foghorn blows, and that is significant. The high kick goes downfield. Been claimed by Gear back to McDonald, and the kick into touch will bring an end to the first half. So the players trudge off the field. There have been no tries scored in the final as yet. There have been a couple of penalty goals by Dan Carter for the Crusaders, and the opening one by Piri Wepu for the Hurricanes, 6-3 at halftime.
Well, I can see more than 3 at the moment, Murray.
because that's all I can see from the commentary position.
I'm heading for the other side again to see if I can pick up a bit more.
All right, Tony, we look forward to that because we haven't got a hope.
Good to go.
So Jonathan KAPLAN asking the two teams if they're set to go. 40 minutes to go in the Super 14 season.
Just the ball.
And Dan Carter gets us going in the second half. And somewhere in that lot it's been claimed with Jerry Collins has the ball now.
7. Hold that 2.
Wepu back for David Holwell. And he's driven the ball down to the 10-metre line.
Yeah, outstanding kick actually, under a fair bit of pressure, Holwell, and he's cleared it just about to the 10-metre mark.
The one change there has been is the number of people watching this game. We understand quite a few people in the upper decks of the stands have given up the ghost. They've either gone home or they've gone to find a bar with a big screen in it.
Well, I think you're in a better position, frankly, if you're sitting at home, than a lot of people at the ground here, as the Crusaders tried to get it wide, and they've gone into touch. I think they ran it pretty much across the field. I think people with long memories might remember a game in 1972, the All Blacks against East Glamorgan at Cardiff. Very similar.
Yes, Ian Kirkpatrick up in the stand. This will bring back memories of that game. And that was played in a fog so thick you could not at any stage see from one side of the ground to the other.
So Andrew Hoare, who hardly threw the ball at all in the first half, has thrown it to Paul Tito. And the Hurricanes here on their own 10-metre line go driving upfield.
Hold there. Hold.
Wepu's going to kick it into the fog.
How'd he do?
I don't know.
Well, it's been claimed at the back by the Crusaders, and just inside their own 22, I think.
Moving it off to Carter, and Dan Carter puts his boot to the ball. Taken by Toyava. I can see that just out from the 22. He's put up a very high kick.
Beautifully taken, have to say.
Pass in field, and I think it's McDonald who's been claimed by the Hurricanes just near the 22, and he's got the arm out here, has Jonathan KAPLAN. Hurricanes going to attack though as Nonu puts the kick through, and going back and covering is Scott Hamilton,
15.
but no advantage. So this might be a shot at goal somewhere down
Holding
there
on
for
isolated.
the Hurricanes.
Facing the wrong way.
So really that came from pressure from the Hurricanes on the Crusaders. The ball was fielded beautifully by Dan Carter. I think it was. McDonald ran into trouble, and you can see 3 or 4 Hurricanes over the top, and that's where he was penalised for not releasing the ball, even though in the end they won it, the Canes. So this would be pretty much right in front, Tony, is that right?
As far as I can make out, Murray perhaps in line with the right hand upright. Got 24 out, Holwell, and over it goes.
So the penalty goal kicked by David Holwell, and they're even again, 6 each.
Perish the thought of extra time.
Oh yes, exactly. 20 minutes that would be, 10 each way, but we'll worry about that if it happens. A kickoff made by Dan Carter.
Wepu underneath it, putting the kick high and not into touch. Rico Gear takes it on his own 10-metre mark. Now McDonald, he puts it high. Coming down out of the fog for David Holwell, and coolly done. He's been collared too, taken high. Bit of an ooh going up from the crowd. I don't know whether Jonathan KAPLAN saw that. He said the shoulder, so he's happy it wasn't too high.
Looks like Soialo playing at halfback.
They're onside.
And the kick is going across towards the far touchline. And it looks like it's in touch.
Yeah, Toyava was well into touch, Nisbo.
Well, it's just about it. Yeah, I think it's worse than it's ever been right from the start.
The line-out's 35 metres from the Hurricanes goal line. Flynn throws, Jack going up, and they're going to drive. Driving well too, almost to the 22.
He's okay.
Now the counter drive from the Hurricanes.
Got 7.
So Zenio has to clear it. He got it away to Carter, and he'll put it high.
That's the tactic tonight from both sides, really. Just get it up there.
Penalty Crusaders.
Taking the man out in front. Deliberately running into the man ahead.
So the penalty goes, and this will be a shot at goal for Dan Carter.
Running into the man ahead, and there was a knock on, and man ahead of him played the ball. It was okay. It's okay. Mate.
Seems general acceptance, I guess.
Might have been his Tana Rumanga as he just shouldered his way in there ahead of Casey Laulala.
Well, this one just inside the 22 and midway probably between touchline and the left-hand post. So Carter steps in and over it goes. Crusaders back in front 9-6.
3 penalty goals then to Dan Carter. So both teams have kicked a penalty in the second half. So looks like Johnny Leo'o is coming onto the field in place of Ross Filippo. So Ruben Thorne into lock. And the Crusaders going with their 2 open side flankers. They've employed that in the last couple of weeks. Early change then by Robbie Deans. Toiava kicks off.
McCaw takes it down, but he's lost it. Gone forward, and so it's a knock on. It'll be Hurricanes ball to the scrum.
Leave it, just leave it.
Just out from the 22 centre field.
Timeout.
Well, again, there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on.
Timeout. Yeah, please. 6.
So McCaw lining it up, taking it beautifully. Marsari hitting.
On the whistle. He's carried on.
Yeah, I think he caught his arm.
Penalty against him. I spoke to you about discipline.
Free.
Well, something's gone on. There's been a word from the touch judge, I think, and it's been reversed. In fact, it's a penalty to the Crusaders, and so they'll get the chance to clear.
Well, it's against Jerry Collins for something that happened there. And a lovely kick through by Carter has driven play right back to the 22 in Hurricanes territory. A bit of a kerfuffle there. It was a bit hard to see exactly what happened. Line out claimed by Jack. Senio gets it off to Carter. Some big defence in midfield, but the Crusaders still have it.
Well, even bigger defence. The ball's been ripped away by Martin Nonu. Chris Jackie was hit hard in the tackle by Jerry Collins, and so the Hurricanes have got it. And that's Holwell kicking downfield. McDonald takes it just inside the half of the Crusaders. He's put it high.
Leave him.
Holwell coming forward to take it. Good chase from Hamilton. I think the Crusaders have got it here. Chris Jack. McCaw.
Right near the 22-metre line. Hurricanes looking to drive over the top. They're going to work sideline, and it's been dropped by Thorne. A lot of pushing and shoving going on.
Don't do it. Whistle.
Well,
that's all. Whistle.
This is the final. There's a bit of niggle. There's no doubt about that. A very competitive edge that both these teams have, particularly in the loose, which
keep the shape.
is to be understood, really. It's the most competitive area. It's
Crouch and hold.
the key to the game, really. An area last week that I thought the Crusaders absolutely dominated. The Bulls really weren't in it at the breakdown. But this team here, the Hurricanes, they love the breakdown. So it's a contest for sure.
and hold. Engage.
Yeah, the scrum has gone down, but referee KAPLAN has let it go. Big kick by Wepu, fielded by Hamilton, off to McDonald's. Lobs the pass out of centre field. I think it's Laulala.
Rico Gear. Laulala on the touchline, putting a kick down towards the 22. It's going to come down just outside the 22. Knocked back by So'oialo and almost picked up by Johnny Leo'o coming through for the Crusaders. But the Hurricanes have got it.
Oh, well, hands it on to Collins. Moving it out inside their own 22 here, the Hurricanes. And under pressure, Wepu got the pass off to Holwell. He's kicked it. It's been fielded by Carter. Big kick right across into centre field.
That's Tana Umaga, and didn't take it cleanly, but turned his back on the oncoming ball, so he knocked it back towards his own goal line. He's put it into touch. It's been taken quickly, though. McDonald's got it. He's taken on the 10-metre mark, Hurricanes. So Senio reaches in. He's got it away to Carter. Out it goes into centre field.
Moving the ball. And Crusaders still in control of this. No, they've lost it forward. Right on the 10-metre line, centre field, Hurricanes territory. And a change coming up. 21 is Jimmy Gopeth.
It's an interesting change, isn't it, at this stage of the game?
Been subbed.
Holwell, of course, been quite successful in big match time.
Well, it might be the last time we see David Holwell at this level, and what a wonderful career it's been too. He'll play MPC for Northland, but we might not see him in Super 14 again.
He's been a wonderful servant of his Super 12 franchise, his club, and also his MPC franchise, as he proves, going back to the farm and turning out for Northland, which is a team on the lower end of the MPC.
Well, I don't think he was expecting to play Super Rugby. He came back from Ireland, where he'd been playing. He's all set to play for Northland. Bought himself a herd of cows. He was going to settle back into the farm, and he got the big call from the Hurricanes.
Crouch and hold. Engage. Bind up, don't shift. At the back, shifting out.
Free kick, so So'oialo takes off. Makes a good burst downfield, and he's lost it in the tackle. So the Crusaders have it. Could turn this to their advantage. The kick through made, and it is still in the field of play. And into touch they go.
Good opportunity, Crusaders here. They're thrown to the line out. It's an area of the game we can see actually in Nisbo. Bottom left-hand corner, looking at the screen. So full line out by the look of things.
Great kick by Major.
And Hamilton too.
Dragged down by Chris Jack. They're going to try and set up a drive. Ball pops out the side. Snapped up by Senio, but the whistle goes. And I think it was lost forward by the Crusaders.
Well, they took it in. The drive from the Crusaders didn't eventuate really. The Hurricanes, and then they lost it forward by the looks of things.
Chris Jack injured.
Well, those stats on the screen, of course, if you've got that much territory in possession, you're going to make mistakes, I guess, in these conditions. So a little bit of discussion about playing the, I'm sure, playing the conditions. Even McCaw out there taking the moment to talk about it. So really the key, once again, as it is in all games of rugby, really is to maintain possession, which allows you to put the pressure on the opposition.
Bind up, bind up.
Wepu makes the clearing kick. Drifting down towards the touchline and in touch. And a good clearance by Wepu. Down just past the 10-metre line.
He's recovered pretty well, hasn't he? Because he looked in real trouble in the first half, Piri Wepu.
And Marceau as well.
Another line-out throw for Corey Flynn. Goes for Chris Jack once again. Delivers quickly to Senio. Carter lobs it out into centre field. Looks like McDonald in.
Yeah, McDonald taken in the tackle by Umaga. About 5 metres in from the touch, and it's a penalty to the Hurricanes. McDonald didn't let it go. Good work. I think it was Collins and Sorialo got in over the ball.
Again, 15.
Jimmy Goppeth will kick for touch.
Well, the Hurricanes really haven't been able to put their mark on this game, apart from their defensive pattern, which has been magnificent, I will say, this season. But they really haven't had enough ball to impose themselves in an attacking manner.
So the kick by Goppeth has gone out, and the line out forming looks like around about the 10-metre line. Just past it, actually, in Crusaders territory.
Look at Thorne watching Eaton and getting a hand to it too. Great work, Ruben Thorne.
Might have knocked it on in the process, though. And they all look at the touch judge. I'm not sure what he's supposed to do.
It's incredible now. Lineouts, how competitive they are on opposition throw.
Up, both of you. Crouch and hold.
The opportunity to win line-out ball on opposition throw. Really, really important.
Here come the Hurricanes. Goppeth turns it back inside. Looks like Nonu, who quite often pops in at second 5'8".
Sides.
And offside play against the Crusaders here. Might have been McCaw. Hurricanes try to drive it up the centre. No progress there.
That's kickable as well, isn't it?
Well, they've got two options here. I've got Wepu or Goppeth.
Well,
it's funny how the crowd are booing. I guess most of them haven't seen it, other than to know that there's a penalty.
No, in fact, they were booing both kicks of goal the Hurricanes have had. The crowd have been booing. Of course, you never used to hear things like that in Canterbury 20 years ago, that's for sure. Times have changed.
Well, Jimmy Goppeth has got this ball placed about 36 metres out. He's pretty much in front.
So Jimmy Goppeth, the hero from last week. And that looks good too. Kicks the penalty goal. It's 9-all in the final. So just like last week, the Hurricanes have fronted up with 3 goal kickers, and they've all made a contribution.
Well, I'm just looking. Line breaks, there's been none. Tries, none.
Carter's kickoff, fielded by the Hurricanes, just near their own 22. Sorialo's going to release the pass eventually. Now he does. Goppeth's kick.
Yeah, he's put it into touch about 5 metres short of halfway. Murray, I think when you're talking about things like line breaks, you should say none that we know of.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, Goppeth kicked the ball in, and we just couldn't see where it went at all. I mean, what a tragedy, isn't it, when you have 2 teams of this skill level and the try-scoring ability.
Well, Chris Jack's won the line out for the Crusaders off the throw by Flynn, who goes in. He's got the ball tucked up in the back of the maul.
And away,
I don't know whether you can see this, Nisbo, from where you are.
Yes, I can see the Crusaders marching forward.
Keep binding.
They look as though they're on the 10-metre line in Hurricanes territory, and they're going well.
Bound in, it's a maul.
They're well organised.
5, 6 on sides. Yeah. That's okay. Ball, please.
Now they have to release it. No, they don't have to. It's another forward drives on.
Corey Flynn.
Now Senio off to Carter. Here comes the high kick again. And where are we?
Oh, could have been anybody's.
Wepu's come up with it.
There's a knock on by the Crusaders. 5-metre scrum.
Scrum goal.
Well, it was Aaron Major coming through.
Tell you what, that was touch and go. It was a great kick, wasn't it? Daniel Carter. I mean, you put a ball up in these conditions, it's 50-50 who wins it.
Crusaders will put the heat on this scrum for sure.
Well, Soriano's dropped that, and the referee got the call, I think, from his touch judge. Tried to take it away from the base of the scrum, and he's lost it forward, and now perfect opportunity for the Crusaders. 10 metres from the posts. Chance to go either way. Leon McDonald trotting out to the right.
You wonder too whether they might even consider a drop kick.
Well, Carter's up flat in this boat.
No ball, no ball, no ball.
I don't want to pass too deep. There might not be anyone there.
No, well, that's the point, isn't it? But also it is a wonderful opportunity, the best possible opportunity so far in the game, right under the goalposts. So huge opportunity either side.
Carter, Major, McDonald gear away to the right.
Scrum fed. Senio, they're going to drive it away. Got it up off the grounds. Still about 5 or 6 metres short. And it's controlled here by the Crusaders.
Use it! Wait there.
So close.
There it is. Major's got it away to McDonald. Gear. He's going to have Paku on. He's into touch. Umaga coming across and making the tackle.
Well, the heat is on. The resilient defence of the Hurricanes holds, but well spread.
15.
Well, Paku, perfect position. He gave him the touchline and drove his body in.
And there's a change at fullback. Toiava's gone and Tamati Allison is on in 22. Isaiah Toiava heading for the reserve bench.
He's in.
And so Tamati Allison is now at the back.
No hands, red!
Hurricanes have it from the line out. They went short. Rodney Soriano coming forward. And Wepu just trying to reach in and clear it. Gopeth waiting in the end goal. In fact, Wepu deciding to clear it himself. So it'll be a scrum feed about 23 metres from the corner flag.
So it was Rodney Soriano, quick one to the front. Wepu very good at clearing in that situation.
Flynn to throw, 20 minutes to go. Again, they go to the money man, Chris Jack, and again they're going to set up this rolling maul, which has worked well for them in the second half.
He's bound in, it's fine.
Swirling inside the 22, but still in the back of this maul for the Crusaders. Greg Somerville just getting a little isolated, but he's found his mates again.
Well, it's a good drive.
Edging up ever closer. It's only 5 metres short now.
Go away, let it come.
Senio's got it.
Senio. And the scrum has to be set.
Red one.
And looks like another change coming up, and 17 for 1 in the Crusaders. So that's Campbell Johnston going out there for Wyatt Crockett.
Wow.
And I think Luke Andrews coming on shortly as well.
So big heat once again on the Hurricane line. Well, I've had a lot of this in the last few weeks.
Yeah, Paul Tito leaving the field. And Andrews on. You just about make out the number 18 on his jersey.
Now the big screen here at Jade Stadium is proving very popular. You can see people at the southern end there. They've got no idea what's happening at the northern end, so they're watching it on the screen.
Well, he had 3 line-outs, not too many opportunities, I think, in the first half. In fact, probably only 3. The line-out forward of this match so far has been Jack with 8. And, of course, the Crusaders have been throwing the ball in.
Scrum 5 metres.
All out.
It's a bit messy for the Crusaders, but they've got it now. And they charge in midfield. I think it's Laulala.
Jubilation everywhere.
Casey Laulala it is.
It's a crucial try at this stage of the game. Breaking the line through the midfield. And the tackle of Marsari. So the scrum was under pressure. So the backs weren't really running onto the ball, but Laulala was through.
Casey Laulala picks up the opening try, and he's delighted about it. 14-9 with the conversion to come, close to the post for Carter, and flags go up. 16-9.
Well, in a game where it's very difficult to score tries, the Crusaders have come up with the candy, and the whole crowd is appreciative, even those who can't see it.
Scored a try in the final 2 years ago in Canberra when the Crusaders were beaten, did Laulala. Gopeth kicks off.
Gold.
Taken in by the Crusaders. 17 minutes remaining. Carter clearing away downfield. Ball bouncing for Allison it is, and he's going to run it back. Taken away by Wepu across to Gopeth. Moves it wide to Nonu. Nonu looking to get through in midfield. Very few clean breaks in this game, as the Hurricanes have control of this. Just on the Crusader side of halfway. Now Gopeth again. Collins gets it wide to Allison, looking to hold his man off.
Watch your hands. That's fine. Okay, leave it there, leave it, both of you.
Gopeth trying to drag it out.
Okay, no hands. No hands. No, no. What's the blind pin?
Now it's eaten away for Wepu. Starting to move the ball now, and away goes Umaga. Gets his pass off.
No hands, red.
Yeah, Luke Andrews taken Murray. Sorry, Nisbo just inside the half. Perry Weepu's got it. And he's been wrapped up by Somerville.
No hands, red.
Andrew Hoare, I think I saw 2 there. Just in Crusaders territory.
It's down. 6 red, 6 red.
Oh, right.
Hurricanes looking to clear it. Here they come again. Nonu.
And away, yeah, red.
A little bit extra pressure on the Crusaders defence here. Looks like they've decided we're going to run the ball from here. Away goes So'oialo, looking to get through, frees it up, and not able to drag it in was Tana Umaga. It looked like he was in a bit of a gap, TJ.
Yeah, the touchline was beating him though, I think. He was very close. Nice little shimmy there from Rodney So'oialo. And just always having difficulty bringing it under control before he went over the touchline.
Well, believe it or not, after 65 minutes, that's the first time that the Hurricanes have had any time with the ball. 5 phases they put it through, the first time in the match. So really, the Crusaders have had a stranglehold on this game. So Rodney Soyalo running like a back, spotted the gap and offloaded. So it was the Rico Gear hand that stopped Umaga taking that ball. Would have been interesting actually if he got that.
Yeah, he has ruled a knock on though, and it will be a Crusaders scrum feed. Kevin Senio, about 8 metres inside his own half.
Giving weight.
And he's free kick.
Square and steady, please.
Taken quickly by the Crusaders, and Carter kicks for the far corner.
Allison takes it in very good position. His anticipation was excellent. And his kick just a little off the side of the boot. And they'll line out around about 10 metres in Hurricanes territory. 14 minutes left.
I want you to stay on the hit. Stay involved on the hit.
One converted try in this game.
Again, Chris Jack dominant in the lineouts tonight. Crusaders looking to bust through the Hurricanes' defence. Now Senio.
And away 8, away 8.
Might be Laulala trying to wriggle his way through the defence there.
Yes, yes.
Leo'o picking it up, getting it away to Jack. He's taken on the 22. Leo'o again, Ruben Thorne.
And away, yeah.
Shows good strength to deliver the ball. Now they go open. McDonald.
Right to the 22. Giving a little bit of air here. He's playing an advantage.
It's Carter. Yeah, penalty.
No arms.
And it was a tackle with no arms.
Gotcha. No arms and late. They've long got rid of the ball.
No arms and late.
Well, that last 20 minutes where the Crusaders have taken so many games and put them out or put them away, 40% of their points have come in the last 20.
Well, it certainly looked like a tackle. Might have been late though.
Yeah, but pretty marginal, I thought.
This is a big kick for Dan Carter because, of course, this puts the Crusaders outside of that 7-point margin. Carter's penalty is good. 19 points to 9.
Well, as you said, crucial, a 10-point buffer. With only about 12 minutes left in this game. And that's the trophy. What a pity it's been played in these conditions.
Crusaders won 5 Super 12 trophies out of 10. And they're looking likely to lift the first Super 14.
Facing the wrong way. Ball's presented
penalty
this side.
here to the Hurricanes. Now Rodney Soyalo has a decision to make here with 11 minutes to go.
Off you go.
Whether he kicks the penalty or tries to, or pushes for the 7.
No, I think he's got to kick the goal, doesn't he?
He's going for goal. Jimmy Gopper's going to have a shot.
I've given a clear explanation.
Thomas Waldron might be the next player onto the park.
Or Marsari, I guess. Is that the suggestion from Marsari because of the injury?
Well, the injury doesn't look to have affected him, Murray. He looked in agony when he went down, but he looks okay at the moment. But here's Gopeth. He's about 7-8 metres in from the left wing touch. There it is.
Good kick from Jimmy Gopeth. 19 points to 12. And about 11 minutes left. So on goes Thomas Waldrum, and off comes Chris Marsoe. And I think a change at halfback too. I think Brendan Harmey, who threatened to come on in the first 10 minutes of the game, does get on now for Piriwepu. In the meantime, the game continues as the Hurricanes have it inside their own 22. Back for Gopeth. It's been touched. So this will be Hurricanes ball down by their own 10-metre line.
So I assume that Rodney Soyalo's moved into open side flanker, Tony. I don't suppose you could see from where you are.
Actually, just interesting things happened here. Apparently Ozzie McLean was over here on behalf of the Hurricanes over the side of the field that I'm on, and he's just been told to go back to the other side of the field.
Oh, that would have never happened when he was the Canterbury coach. Here's Collins running out into midfield. And,
both teams a fair go.
It's going to be Hurricanes ball to the next scrum.
Interesting call though, isn't it? Obviously there's a protocol as to where the coaches can and can't be. It wouldn't have happened unless there'd been a complaint of some sort.
Wait for me, please.
So Tony, is that Thomas Waldrum at the back of the scrum and Rodney Soyalo on the side?
Yes, it is.
No. Take the hit. Take the
8 minutes remaining in the final here at Jade Stadium. It might be remembered for all the wrong reasons, sadly.
Wait for me, please. Don't go early. Don't go early.
So centre field position. Good attacking opportunity.
That's my fault. Too far. That's nobody's fault.
Well inside their own territory, as you can see. Just. In fact, it could be a little bit lighter down there now.
Yes, I think it has lifted a little.
Just wait for me, please. Crouch and hold. Bind up here. Bind up. Wait there. Wait three. Wait three. Let's go again. Same thing again.
Time ticking by here. As
Moving off the mark.
the scrum is not settled at all.
Square. Square.
It's been 90 seconds in actual fact since the referee blew the whistle to set this scrum.
Bind up
Won't
here.
worry the Crusaders one iota.
And again.
And this is going to be about a 2-minute effort by the look of it.
Yeah. That's your mark.
The Hurricanes want to bring the ball left. They've got
Bind up. Keep it over.
Ellison up in the line on the 22 outside Nonu.
Engage. Wait here. Wait here. Okay. Use it.
Comes for Waldron. Now Harmey. And is it Nonu?
Yeah, Nonu brought down Harmey, snaps it up and he's got it away, and is Gopeth.
Gopeth running, feeds it off to Paku, trying to get himself clear and dragged into touch. But the Hurricanes looking promising down that left wing side. They've got it almost to the 22 in Crusaders territory.
So it was good action on the short side of the scrum. Paku getting a little bit of opportunity. Very small amount of room to move, of course.
Joe McTonnell will be the next player on as Colin Cooper goes to most of his reserve players and John Swolger leaves the field.
Okay, time on. Come down.
6 minutes remaining. Corey Flynn's throwing has been good. Chris Jack has been in dominant form in these lineouts tonight as the Crusaders have it again.
Stay on 19! 19! From the back.
20 lineout wins to 5, meaning that the Hurricanes have kicked the ball out A heck of a lot more than the Crusaders have. Another good drive.
No hands called. Wait there, wait there. No, not yet.
Coming for Senio.
Yes.
Now he's got it. Carter is going to kick. Does so again.
That's okay, that's okay.
Gets good distance.
Backwards.
Now it's back with Ellison, I think it is, inside his 22, and he's banged it away downfield. Not out yet. No, Carter again. Hurricanes inside their 22. Gopeth this time. Puts it high. Hamilton coming forward, just on in the field of play.
No hands, no hands. Just the counter.
There it is for Senio.
No hands now. Push back, push back.
Handed back by Thorne. Kick across field. Looked like Gear made that kick. Here's Allison going again. Somebody Allison heading up the middle. Away he goes. Turning, looking for some support. Andrews hands it on. Waldron. Nonu taken on the 10-metre line. And Waldron on the 10-metre line in Crusaders territory.
Turnover. Crusaders here. Good turnover. More counter, bit of counter-whacking going.
Richie McCaw trying to drag something out. And whatever it was, he failed, but they have turned the ball over, the Crusaders.
So Tamati Ellison, he's elusive with the 7 skills. One of the better movements for the Hurricanes.
Wait for me.
Slowed down a bit by the lock forward getting in the middle of it.
That's it.
Nonu tripped over his own man there.
Scratch and hold.
We had nowhere to go.
Engage.
Andrews
Bind up here,
drifted
bind up.
across field.
Pull out.
Now
Yes,
Senio
out.
gets it off to Carter. He's got to kick again. Lined up by Ellison, looking to move it away. Left behind by Paku, and now he heads up the middle. Army, McDonnell. Ellison stays up in the line. This is the 10-metre line. As the Hurricanes throwing everything into this last 3 minutes. They need to score the try to possibly force extra time in this final. It's slow ball though. Soriano.
Okay, roll away 6.
Just trying to commit a few extra players. Now Harmy again. Gopeth. Waldron looking to bust in midfield. Ball is still there on the Hurricane side. Tialata
All backwards.
has a crack.
Roll away 7.
2 minutes left.
Leave it,
Again,
20.
it's slow ball though.
Someone else play it.
Jason Eaton looking around. Off it goes to Nonu, stepping his way. Not quite at halfway as yet. Waldron again. Gopeth.
No hands. Red, red.
Hurricanes doing everything they can to breach this defence.
That's your
Not
mark,
many
play
teams
on.
have done it this
Leave
year.
it.
Quick tap and go.
Now roll away 4.
Now they go again. They've got a good line out here as Collins. On it goes to Soriano. Shrugs the first tackle off.
No hands here, no
And it's
hands.
11 metres in Crusaders territory. Nonu moving it across. Now it's Allison again. He stayed up from fullback. Might as well be part of it. Here's Harmy going blindside. Paku trying to hold his man off.
Yeah, it's a great spot tackle made by Daniel Carter, coming up quickly out of the line.
No hands, red.
Just a minute remaining. And looks like the Crusaders have driven over the top. And they have. Scott Hamilton, now the kick and chase is on. Hurricanes going back, defending desperately.
No hands red.
They've done it quite well. That's usable ball.
It was Tana Umanga who got back.
And they're going to have to launch from their own goal line. We're inside the last minute here. And this will be interesting. Away go the Hurricanes as Allison tries to shrug his way through this Crusaders defence, which has held up so well all season. There goes the foghorn, the end of the game, as the Hurricanes charge outside the 22, losing the ball. And this will be just kicked into touch as Collins knocks it down. The whistle goes. The Crusaders win Super 14.
Well, they're worthy champions, this Crusaders side. They dominated this game in territory and a little bit of ascendancy in possession as well. But they did control and dominate the Hurricanes in so many areas of this game, not giving them an opportunity really. And the conditions, of course, made it almost impossible to play competitive rugby. Certainly the 15-man aside game that we're used to these days. And so it did turn into a bit of an arm wrestle, but that try was conclusive halfway through the second half. Lealala, and really they just ground their way to the end of this 80 minutes, and they are delighted to a man. The Hurricanes, well, they'll be thinking what might have been.
Yes, the difference was the converted try, the 7-point margin that gave it to the Crusaders by 19 points to 12. Let's go down onto the field of play, and Tony Johnson with Richie McCaw.
Well, Richie, obviously not the conditions you were thinking of, and a difficult game, but the bottom line is you've won the Super 14.
Yeah, you're right. Unbelievable conditions to play, and I don't know what the crowd saw because it was even tough seeing out here, but we knew it was going to be a grind, and we got there, I guess.
So what was the call before the game? Because obviously you would have come here to play your normal Crusaders game. And what happened to the team game plan?
Oh, we tried to keep it similar. We knew we had to, with what was happening, probably keep it a wee bit tighter. There's a few mistakes with the slippery ball and whatnot, but we tried to play the game. But yeah, I guess it wasn't pretty, but getting there was great.
So what got you there in the end?
Well, I think just composure. We're really hungry on D. We forced turnovers, played at the right end of the paddock. I think that was the key. They kept having to kick out, and the pressure came into points.
As we say, not, I guess, the sort of style that you would have wanted to finish this season, but it has been another fantastic season for the Crusaders.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get them, as long as you get the cup, and I guess we're happy about that.
Oh, good on you, mate. Well done, Richie.
Cheers, TJ.
Yes, he's had another outstanding season, Richie McCaw, and he'll be able to hold that cup aloft in just a few minutes' time. Now the losing skipper, Rodney So'oialo.
Well, Rodney, such a tough night to play rugby. It must have been hellishly difficult out there.
Yeah, very difficult. You can hardly ever see the ball. It's probably not the best conditions for the game, but the boys still played pretty well. Both teams considering conditions.
You were right in the hunt right till the end, but I guess when you were trying to create a try, their defence was just so hard to crack at the end.
Yeah, I think both teams pretty hard to crack. Both defence were pretty good. But that little try really cost us at the end, and really made us start to chase, which pretty hard, especially against a team like this. What happened before the game? Did they ask you if you were keen to go ahead with the game? Yeah, I think both teams were keen to play. Didn't want to disappoint the fans, and both teams were ready for it. Well, it hasn't come up the way you wanted it, but it has been a great season, best ever season for the Hurricanes. And I suppose when you wake up tomorrow, you might think about a final that got away, but you can also be very proud of what your team has achieved this year. Yeah, definitely. I'm proud of the way that my boys played tonight, and this whole year. Tonight was pretty special. They never gave up, and yeah, you can see that, especially at the last minute there, where boys just tried anything to try to score a try.
So what's changed about the Hurricanes? You know, it used to be the old expect the unexpected. Has there been a change in the way you've approached games in the last couple of years?
I think the boys have matured a little bit, you know, and most of the boys know how to play the game now. So, you know, when it comes to crucial games like this, you really need to stay composed and obviously, you know, try slow those games down and try score some points.
Well, Rodney, obviously didn't come out the way you wanted it tonight, but it has been a great season for your team. Well done for that, and we look forward to seeing you in the internationals.
Yeah, thanks, TJ.